So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gary O'Neill's resignation. I jest. Welcome to the Wolves Content Creators Cup 2024. There's a lot of teams and managers who were here last year. Can anybody remember who won the competition last year? Dan, all shout out. Anybody?
Was it the Wolf Whistle?
I'll ask little Dan. Who was it, Dan?
The Wolf Whistle.
It was. Yes, it was the Wolf Whistle. So what Naughty Jason did was bring some ringers in. So kids, do not use ringers because you get banned from the tournament. So thank you for that, Dave. But tonight's schedule, we are raising money for an unbelievable cause, which is the Wolves Foundation. So very shortly, we're going to be hearing from Kieran Ansell, who's going to talk about the foundation. We're going to be hearing from Dave as well, Dazzling Dave, who's going to tell us all about the good work of the foundation, what he's doing last year's tournament, and talking about why we're doing it again this year. We'll also be drawing for the kit colours. That's really important. So how many teams taking part this year, Dave? 10 teams. So fortunately last year the Wolf Whistle did get gold.
It did.
We did, and we was first draw out. So guys, there's some there's gold, there's black, there's pink, there's even stripes. So you could draw anything. We've also got a panel discussion. I am amongst the most esteemed of guests this evening. We've got Dazzling Dave from Always Wolves. Big round of applause for Dazzling. Dave has a party from Talking Wolves. Little Dan for the Fancast. Robbie Meakin, WCR FM. And we've got...
It started.
And we've got Ryan Lester for the Wolves Report. Ryan, you did get the biggest cheer then, by the way. I actually thought that was my Twitter block list at one point. Anyway, it's not. They've all blocked me now. So, and then finally, we will be having the group draw to see who's facing who. So, without further ado, to the stage, Kieran Ansell, who's going to tell us all about the work of the Wolves Foundation. Big round of applause, Kieran Ansell.
To give you a bit of an oversight on Wolves Foundation is the official charity of Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. We have a couple of very difficult challenges, I suppose. One of them is the assumption that because we're the club's official charity, we're rolling in it and we've got loads and loads of money, like Josh and his team has. But we don't. We're financially independent from the football club. We deliver the club's CSR and we exist to create opportunities and change lives within Wolverhampton. But importantly, as it stands at the moment, we're financially independent. The second part of the challenge that we face is within Wolverhampton there's some really amazing charities, people like Compton or the Good Shepherd just over the road. And one advantage they have over us is that people know exactly what they do because they're Compton Care, for example, they deal with palliative end-of-life care and people have often been very personally affected by the work that they do, so they have really impassioned supporters. Same thing with the Good Shepherd, food poverty, homelessness, cost of living crisis. Wolves Foundation, at the moment we deliver 40 plus live projects across the city of Wolverhampton, and that ranges from food poverty, bed poverty even, which is people that have shelter but not adequate bedding, men's mental health, women's mental health in young people, dementia support groups that we hold here at Molineux, elders groups, loneliness groups, disability sport provision, education provision that we provide into schools across the region. So we almost have a bit of an identity crisis that people know and have heard of Wolves Foundation but don't know exactly what we do. So it's quite challenging to entice people to want to fundraise for us. In terms of how we're financed, it comes in 3 separate pillars. So grant funding, Premier League grant funding. So we're a beneficiary of the Premier League Charitable Fund. We have our own private grant funding applications that we speak to lots of grant funders across the nation, sometimes even Europe. The challenge with that grant funding is you have to placate very certain things to get that funding. And often that doesn't really reflect the challenges that we may face in Wolverhampton, because like I said, that funding can come from national or even overseas. So for us, and for me in particular, it's really important that we develop something called unrestricted funding. Unrestricted funding allows us to be far more reactive to what's actually happening in and around us in Wolverhampton. The problem is that as a charity, we don't have things to sell. So we're really reliant on the support of others. So the likes of Dave, the Content Creators Cup, all the funds raised from this evening, the tournament itself, it goes back into what we call unrestricted funding. Unrestricted funding then filters its way into all of those 40 plus projects. We run a dementia support group called Molineux Memories, which at the moment is at the end of a funding cycle. Molineux Memories supports around 70 people at the minute suffering with the effects of dementia. And not only those people, their carers. One of the, I suppose, heartbreaking things about that is at the moment there's around 90 people on the waiting list to get onto Molineux Memories. For every day that somebody's on this waiting list, they're not getting better, right? That is that is what dementia is, right? They're not improving. So because there's no grant funding for it at the moment, the only way that we can help meet that need or rise to that challenge is with this, what we call unrestricted funding. So all of the work that you guys are putting in by being here this evening, by taking part in the Content Creators Cup, although you might not know it, all of the funding that you're raising filters into these really important projects that you probably don't see on a day-to-day basis. I know Feed Our Pack was a really visible, in part thanks to Nuno, project that we ran, but actually every single penny that is raised and goes into Wolves Foundation, we're completely non-profit. It goes into supporting people across Wolverhampton that really need it. Disability sport is another provision that is completely unfunded by grants. We bodge the budget of that together from unrestricted funding and other pots of cash that we find along the way. That supports, at the moment, I think it's around 130 young disability players from under 8 all the way up to open age. And again, it's not a resource that we can just pull and not do, because lots and lots of people rely on the disability sport provision. So that was a bit of a nutshell of what Wolves Foundation is. We really appreciate all of your support. Beyond this evening, if anybody ever wants to talk to Wolves Foundation about how they can further support, learn a little bit more about all of the various projects that we do, by all means give me a shout. And look, again, to reiterate, we absolutely do need your support. So I appreciate everyone being here tonight. I appreciate everyone supporting Dave and the Content Creators Cup, and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow year on year. And let's see where we can take it. Thank you all for your support, and enjoy your evening and enjoy the tournament.
I mean, Kieran, I've seen firsthand the work that you guys do at the foundation for our city, and it is incredible. So, guys, I can't think of a better charity to support this. So, without further ado, the main man, Dazzling Dave!
Guys, first of all, I want to thank Jason. Seriously, Jason, you're someone that's inspired me to want to do something to raise funds, because you do so much and so much good in the charities that you support. And people like Jason raise such a lot of money. I wanted to try and do something to support the foundation. As what Kieran says, you'd think that Wolves, they get money off Wolves. It doesn't work like that. They do get a bit of money off the Premier League, but everything else they have to raise themselves. And they do so much good. You've seen the disability team, the Molineux Memories for dementia, people with mental health. They do so much to support so many people, and without that funding, things have to drop. So anything that we can do to try and help support that with the revenue, it all goes in towards helping people, every single penny. The idea came about because obviously, we love football, we all play a bit of football, and I thought, what can we do? Last year, we did the first one. We raised over £3,000 for the first one at Compton. We learnt a lot from that.
Sorry, Dave, who won it?
Wolf Whistle won it. Wolf Whistle All Stars won it. And we had a really good day, and we learnt a lot from doing that day. So we wanted to sort of take it to the next level this year. Our target's 5,000. We've expanded it to 10 teams. But the thing is, with the content creators, we all are passionate about Wolves. We all love our club. We all have our different platforms that we do. And we don't want to be competitive. We want to support each other. And the idea was to try and bring everyone together as content creators to support the foundation and our club. And what really is fantastic about it, we've all come together to try and raise money for the foundation. And you know, at the end of the day, we all need to be friends, and we all are friends, and we all create our content, and that's what it's all about for me, coming together as one. And you know, I'm really, really grateful to everyone that's entering the team. You know, it's £250 a team this year, at £25 a person, up to a team of 10. But we've also expanded it, so if you want more than 10, you can have more than 10 at £25 each. And then hopefully we'll get, last year we had about 100 people come and watch on the day. It was bloody cold because it was in October and we couldn't get in till after 4. So this year we've gone for September. We planned it really in advance, which means we can start earlier in the day, so it's not such a rush, which has meant we've been able to expand it to 10 teams. And the way it's going to run this year, there's going to be 2 groups of 5. Everyone's going to get at least 4 games, and then it's going to go to a quarter final. Team 1 will play team 4 from each group, semi-final, final, and we'll hopefully have a really good day, a lot of fun, and raise a lot of money for what is an amazing charity, the Wolves Foundation. I want to thank Jason as well for coming in and doing the MCing for us tonight, much appreciated. The only person that couldn't make it from one of the teams tonight is Harry Mansell, because he's getting pissed on a stag do. Other than that, he would have been here.
I wish I was with it.
But everyone else is here. And I also want to thank, because last year it was just the content creators that turned up, for all of you guys as well that have taken the time and effort to come tonight and enjoy this and witness this with us. I really appreciate that. When we get to the panel bit, please ask as many questions as you want. Jason's going to be overseeing all of that. So all it means is to hand over to Jason for the next bit. Thanks for supporting, and try and encourage as many people to support the charity by donating on the Just Giving page. Cheers.
Well done, Dave. Thank you. Thank you, kind words. It means a lot. We're going to do the draw a bit later on, and in the draw you're going to see who you're facing. If you come up against a team you don't want to, there is a fire alarm over there, just smash that. We've all got to escape, and then there'll be a redraw next week. So we've got to now draw the kit colours. So Dave, can you bring your balls over here?
Yes, so here we go.
Here we go.
Do you want to come up and... Oh, I also want to say, before I finish, I did mean to say, thank you to my wife Emma.
He's having no tea tonight now, isn't he? We can't say that, we can't say that, can we?
Thank you to my wife Emma. She does a lot behind the scenes, so much appreciated. And I also want to thank Michael and Louise from Creation Wolf, because this year they've done the graphics, so we've got proper World Cup style draw. And what will happen as well is you will be able to have a link, so you'll be able to share that with all of your groups and your teammates and stuff like that. So thank you ever so much to Michael and Louise as well.
Now guys, I'm going to be honest, the sceptics amongst us will think these are Kinder eggs.
They pick their colour.
So, first up, and I'll just do it in the order that it's on this sheet, so I'm not upsetting anyone and you blame me, the old gold pack. Give him a big stir.
What's he got?
Black.
Black.
Are you making a note, Emma?
Black. Oh, no, I will, don't worry,
You'll make a note.
don't worry, I'll do it.
So old
Black.
gold, black.
Robbie Meakin from WCR-FM. I think he'd look good in pink, Robbie.
You reckon? The colour of the eyes, mate. Ooh, white.
White. The Wolf Pack. Make yourself known. Come up, young man.
It's going to be pink, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I look good in pink, it's alright. Grey? Grey.
Right. Wolves Foundation, where are we? Kieran.
Let's go. Dark blue.
Dark blue.
Dark blue. Same colour worn by baggies. Dazzling Dave, always Wolves Fan TV, coming up.
Okay.
Oh, there's pink and stripes left, guys.
Green.
Green.
That's good because you can blend in and you won't be able to see us.
So we've still got gold in there. We've still got stripes. We've still got light blue. Wolves Fancast. Come on, little Dan. Hang on, he sit down, make a high joke. Listen, I would do, but he's not big and he's not clever.
Light blue.
Light blue.
Gold is still in
All
there.
I seen there was an arm pop up.
You know,
Why you see passing cheese?
Tell you what, I'm going. Ryan Lester Wolves reporter, who made us all wait, by the way, because his train was late on
I
it.
bet he gets gold.
The grey's already gone, right?
Grey's up here, mate.
Oh,
Oh no. Stripes.
Oh!
right.
It ain't going to be blue or white, is it?
Oh, definitely not.
Gold or pink?
So now, there's gold or.
Topsies.
How many said there's gold or pink? Sorry, there's 3 left.
You've got Wolves Media as well, don't forget, in there.
Oh, but yeah, right, okay, sorry, right.
So who have you got left to draw?
77 Club.
Harry's the last one. What's
Okay,
left?
sorry. Talking Wolves, Dave has a party. Come on, Dave, big shuffle. We want pink.
Pink, perfect.
Anyone who think that was a setup? Wolves Media.
Here we go.
We all know
I bet they get gold.
Jason just slips the gold one in there.
Sudo, yeah. Oh yeah.
Here he comes.
Oh my, you can't So guys, I'll be honest, the draw is a fix, as you know now.
And what's left of that
To
time?
get the Wolves Media room, we had to give them gold. It was part of the contract. Jeff Shee's in the back kicking off mightily. He's all right now, by the way. 77 Club. Oh, 77 Club. I'll do this because Harry Mansell was banned again off Twitter. Red.
Red. Okay. Fantastic.
Red. So, are we all pleased with our colours, guys?
No.
Pink. If you're already up now in the Wolves Club shirt, you can get a load of Castori pink stuff, can't you? You're alright, triple XL long sleeved. For a tenner. So, we're going to do the panel now, yeah?
Yeah.
So, should we call the lads up?
Yeah.
Shall we? In no particular order. Dazzling Dave, Dave has a party, Little Dan, Robbie Meakin, and Ryan Lester. So, guys, this is completely unscripted. I've got absolutely no questions, so I'm just going to chuck them out. Let's start with Ryan, because Ryan was late. We'll pick on him first. Ryan, Max Kilman, defender last season, you know, it probably wasn't his best season for Wolves, but even so, still a very good season. Signed him for 40,000, sold him for 40 million. I mean, that's good business, isn't it?
I think it's great business. I wish Max well. He's been a great guy from the club. He's been fantastic. I don't think anyone missed Craig Dawson more than Max Kilman, really. I think that's when his form probably dipped off. So
Yeah.
he was carrying a lot of weight then, because I'd say Dawson was probably like a leader next to him as well.
Yes.
So I think it's a deal that suits everybody. It's given Wolves a bit of money to play within the window.
Yeah.
He gets close to home. Wolves make a huge amount of money. Maidstone get a bit of dough as well. So it's all about how the money's reinvested for me, which so far it's been invested really well.
Oh, it is. I mean, Wolves have done their business very early, which is very unlike Wolves. Would you like to see a centre half come in?
I think we have to. I mean, Mascara's come back. Apparently, he was pretty decent in the 45 he played. I think he could play a big part next season, but losing that left-footed centre back that can play football, I think we're going to miss that.
Yes.
I think also a lot depends on, are Wolves going to stick with the 3 at the back? I know it's a bit of a hybrid for the first friendly, bit of a sort of a 4 to a 5. So I think a lot depends on that. But losing someone with the stats that Max Gilman has and the footballing ability, I'd expect another centre back to come in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Little Dan, Gary O'Neill, we know last year he didn't get a pre-season at all. He was called into action just a few days before the start of the season. And you wouldn't think it the way, obviously, we started the season especially, but are you excited for this coming season knowing that he's going to get a full pre-season?
Massively, it's time for him to earn his money. I think he's earned the war chest that
Yeah.
we get given this summer. You want to call it a war chest? He's got sort of the backing, obviously come through the sort of Liverpool Academy under Klopp and that coaching background. So we'll see where we go. I think the sky's the limit for this club at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they're slowly getting the fans back on side. Hopefully, with a few more recruitments, we can push on, because last season was probably a bit not underachieving, but underwhelming the way that it ended, but that was through no fault of Gary's.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the pivotal moment for it, well, for most of us really, was the Coventry defeat, where we were literally a couple of kicks away from an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and it was just so frustrating the way it ended. For you, now obviously coming into this season, you mentioned recruitment. How important is Matt Hobbs going to be to all this? And do you want to comment on about the job he's done so far?
Recruitment wise, it's gone really well. I think this summer, like I mentioned, just a lot of recruitment's already been done early, which is pretty off script for Wolves.
Yeah.
You've got some players coming back from injuries. I think Bellegarde could be a good player for Wolves this season. He didn't really get the appearances that he would have wanted last season. Strand Larson, I'm really backing the guy this summer.
Yeah, he's not marketing these t-shirts, but they are going to be for sale very
soon. At
soon.
the moment, so
Extra small men's, hang a big man.
Yeah,
You are going to start flogging them, though, aren't you?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah, I think we've missed that focal point target man type forward, and he's got the energy about him. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. We had a Norwegian sports journalist on our channel recently, and he's backed him for 15 goals. If he gets anywhere near that, then I think there's a fan base. He could be a new cult hero for the club.
Absolutely. For you, Robbie, we've seen Podence now. He's obviously been playing in Spain, and he's been, should we say, influential. Some of the players last season, particularly who either went out on loan or sort of fell out of favour with Gary O'Neill, would you like to see them almost being given it? Not players like Fabio Silva, but would you like to see them possibly given a fresh slate?
Well, you look at Mosquera, he'll come in, he'll do a job. O'Neill wants to keep him. I think there's going to be a few go. But Sasha will go, hopefully Silva will go, depending on the money. And there's more as well, Guedes as well. So hopefully that we might not get the money that we want, but it's money back in that we can put back into the first team.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But Podence is a funny one. Look with me, I like him.
Yeah.
I know he's not everyone's favourite. I like him. Like you see last night, he's got the spirit in him. And was that the second pre-season on the bench? He's been sent off for Punch.
Yeah.
Two on the bench.
It wouldn't be a pre-season unless he got sent off, would it?
We better ask Josh. I mean, Josh has got all this footage. Yeah, I think with Daniel Podence, he's one of them players where, obviously, on his day, he can a bit like Troy, really, different players, but they can turn a game on their head, they can win you a game out of nothing, but equally they can go hiding for 70 or 80 minutes. And I don't think Gary O'Neill wants those sort of players in the team. He wants players who are going to give us 90 minutes.
Yeah, but it's like you said last night about Matt Murray calling different players like finishers, like you were saying about Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins. I think he's that sort of type. Like you try over, like he's not going. If he starts, you might not have the best game out of him. Last 20 minutes or so, I think he'd do a job.
Yeah, coming to finish games, but everybody wants to start, don't they? That's the problem with football. Yeah. So Dave, we've seen Max Kilman go. Dave has a party talking more. Fresh from his holiday, by the way. Still got his holiday trim and his suntan. That's why he wore a white t-shirt today. Good looking bastard. So Dave, we've seen Max Kilman go. Can you, players like Guedes and Silva, it's almost guaranteed they're going to go, perhaps especially in Silva's case, these players haven't even been given numbers and shirts and not on. Can you see anybody going who may be possibly a bit of a surprise, or do you think, is there anyone who's sort of almost certain to go?
I think there's a few in the current squad. I think there's going to be one or two more senior players go for sure. Be interesting to see, because Kilman was almost an unexpected sale, I would say. I don't think many people expected him at the start of the summer to go. So it'll be interesting to see if that amount of money will now allow Wolves to keep one or two of the other players. Neto ultimately depends on, he's still on his holidays at the moment. It'll be interesting to see when he's back if interest continues in him. But I think players like Sarabia, because I think now with certain players that have come in, he's on a big wage, sliding down the pecking order slightly. So I think someone like him will go, whether it's back to Spain or Saudi Arabia, I don't know. So I think there'll be one or two more senior players to go. But like Robbie said earlier, you've got the likes of Guedes, still on a big wage. I would like to see him maybe have another go in the team, but ultimately I just don't think he wants to be here. So move a couple of those players on. You won't get the money back for Silva or Guedes for sure, but it's just all about the new regime now. Since Matt Hobbs has come in, the transfer windows have been very good. It's just about tidying up what's happened in the past and go from there.
Absolutely. Another big earner, Nelson Semedo. Now, I think he's got a year left on his contract maybe, and we've signed this right back. Is he possibly one that you think to the exit door while he's still got stock and, like I said, years ago?
Possibly. I think Gary O'Neill views him as quite a senior member of the squad, so in an ideal world, Wolves would like to keep him. But
Absolutely.
again, he's a high earner, so a new deal normally, unless you can get him to agree to the same terms or less money, which is unlikely in this day and age, then I'm not sure. But you know, you've got Doherty, you've got Pedro Liba, you've also got Okadu, who's probably still away off the 13, but it's a strong position there. So it's going to be annoying if he moves on and we lose, you know, we get nothing for him. So, but ultimately, by the end of the summer, I think Wolves will need to make a decision on that. But I think he'll stay. But it remains to be seen whether he signs a new deal at Wolves.
So, Dazzling, why was we kicked out of the tournament again? No, I'm joking. So, Dave, is there any positions that you think are key for Wolves to strengthen in this opportunity, this window?
I think it's really good because, like we've talked about, haven't we, since Raul Jimenez got his head injury, and we've talked for about 4 seasons about needing that number 9. We've finally got this number 9, and he's half the player of Erling Haaland, who he's played with and stuff like that. You know, he's 1 inch taller, he can hold the ball up. Raul used to do that really well. Bring players in, he can score, he can get in the box. We've got really good forwards around him that can really support him. So I think that's really good that they've done that. I think obviously with Max Kilman going, you know, 40,000 to 40 million. I mean, you know, unbelievable. And like what Ryan says, you know, Max, his family are in London, you know, so it works for him personally as well. And Wolves have got a massive profit. And you've got to thank Hobbs, because he really pushed to sign Max a long time ago. He's at a good age. We've got 40 million. It helps with the PSR and the FFP, so that's really good. Yerson Mosquera, you know, done really well at Villarreal. I think, you know, if he can be brought in, but I still think we need another centre back, definitely to be brought in. So I think that's key. You know, and obviously Boubacar Traoré and Enzo are both away with the Olympics for a while, so I think both of them have got something to add to the squad. You know, and I also think possibly another forward as well. So. And possibly another wing back, but other than that, I'm really pleased that we're doing the business early with what we've done, because let's face it, Gary came in with 3 days, he hasn't had a pre-season. It's giving these new players a chance to properly bed into the system that he wants to play, and I think we've seen that Gary's ideal system is preferably a back four, but they've been playing a bit of a hybrid in the first pre-season, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the course of the other pre-season friendlies. But I trust in the recruitment process, and like what everyone said, I think there's going to be a few more that come out. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Pedro Neto. I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens with him.
Back to you, Ryan. Gary O'Neill, has he surprised you? Because at the start of last season, the first few games and up to almost the Ipswich game, he was branded a PE teacher. But he's got a lot of people eating their words. I mean, there's a lot of people very critical of him on social media and beyond, but has he got people eating his words, and are you surprised about the impact he's had at the club?
I think many, probably including me, were guilty of some football snobbery because he wasn't a big fashionable name. Well, if he's not good enough for Bournemouth, he's not good enough for Wolves. So he came in, he did the job at Bournemouth, kept them up, he came at Wolves. When really, at that point in the season, when we lost Lopetegui, it was, well, let's look at 17th, that's what we're looking at. But he did more than that, he excelled, he gave us some moments of excitement. We saw, before the injury crisis around the Coventry game, we saw moments of identity, the fast-flowing breaks. So yeah, I'm really excited. He holds himself really well, he talks well. I love how passionate he is. I know he got himself in trouble, and I'm sure Josh and his team loved how he's him going rogue last season a few times when they're press conferences. But he loved you as a fan.
Fire alarm.
As a fan though, you want to see your manager wearing that badge the same as you do.
Absolutely.
And he passionately cared, but articulated himself way better than I probably could have in those circumstances. So yeah, it's great to have him. This is his first pre-season ever as a manager. Didn't get one at Bournemouth, didn't get one at Wolves. This is massive for him as well. So with the pre-season, I think we're very much looking up. I'm looking forward to hopefully a longer era under Gary O'Neill.
And Robbie, do you think we've got to worry, because there's not that many good English managers in the game, and obviously now Southgate's left. Do you think? I mean, they might. I'm not saying they're going to come specifically looking at Gary O'Neill, but do you think it's something that we've got to keep in mind? Because is Eddie Howe going to leave Newcastle to stay at the job? Are they going to go for a foreign appointment? Graham Potter is reportedly on 200,000 a week till October. Will he want to relinquish that? Can you see maybe that the England outfit even considering him?
Yeah, I can definitely see why they'd be looking at him, like, you know, young, hungry English manager. But I don't know. I think for me, from an England point of view, I'd like to see him sort of push the boat a bit, maybe sort of go all in on the clock, or into him and then maybe Pep. But I think realistically,
England with the German
O'Neill
manager.
would definitely be on the short list, I think.
Yeah. Pedro Neto. Now, for me, Pedro on his day, once again, unbelievable player. Are we going to get any more than 25 games out of him, Dan? And what sort of money do you realistically think it would take for the club to part with him?
Well, there's the rumoured fair sort of 60 million that was one for him. I think anything less than that would be stupid to take. He's still got 3 years left on his contract.
It's a long contract.
25 games for me, Pedro now for Wolves this season, I'd take that chance. I think 25 games out of Pedro now is the difference between Wolves finishing top half and bottom half.
Yeah. So you take it?
60 million or nothing, 60 million in all stays.
The only thing, I get your sentiments entirely, and I do think on his day he's worth 60 million, but it's the volume of games you get out of him. But if it's a club like Arsenal where he possibly wouldn't be starting every week, if they got 25 games out of a fit Neto, 60 million would actually probably be value for money.
Definitely, that's the difference. They've got Trossard, Martinelli, Saka on the right. I think he's a massive addition for a club like Arsenal who fell just short at the final hurdle last season. £60 million is a lot of money. I think that we'd be looking to spend that sort of money on a player that's probably going to give you 25 games a season, but we're Wolves here. Couldn't give a toss about their aspirations.
Yeah.
Pay the money or find someone else. Absolutely.
There you go, little Dan, who just said it. So, Dave, I don't want to put you on the spot completely, but I will. I know it's very early to say, we've only just started pre-season, 2 or 3 players will come in. It's early days, what would you class as almost success next season for Wolves?
Success in probably pushing for Europe.
Yeah.
I think we generally last few years we've had the opportunity to do that, whether it's because of injuries, whether it's because of not investing in January. Obviously we've fell short, so I think a success would be that, or going one step further and have a real push for a cup again, because there's not many people in this room that have been able to see Wolves win a major piece of silverware. So this year could have been that one. I still stand by, I think even if we had one pick forward for that game against Coventry, we would have been in the semi-final, and you saw how close they took Manchester United. So another good cup run, pushing for Europe hopefully. But like you guys have already said, a full pre-season under Gary O'Neill will be really interesting to see how the season goes overall.
That Coventry game was really frustrating for me, because I think when you 2-1 up with a couple of minutes to go, if we'd have just hoofed it in the South Bank or just kept it there. But I think Gary O'Neill almost stuck to his identity. They only wanted to keep playing, which is credit to him, but it did. I'm not saying that it cost us a place in the semi-final, but arguably,
I think he's probably learned a lot from that. I saw, that's his full first season as a head coach. And obviously now, next year you have the pre-season as well. He's still very young. Had less than 2 years as a Premier League head coach. He's still going to be learning on the job almost. So this year we're going to see really what he's about. He's going to have a lot more experience as a head coach. And I think experience in this league, even players like Neto, £60 million, yes, but you've got Pedro Neto, who's probably been in the Prem 5-6 years worth of experience now, which for teams like Arsenal, valuable really. So there's a lot of things working in Wolves' favour. Players like Bellegarde, who now had a year, Cunha, over a year now to settle into the squad. So starting to gel into a really nice looking team.
I want to do one final question, Dazzling Dave, then I'll open it up to you guys. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Dazzling, Wolves didn't really crown themselves in glory. This has been the longest pre-season ever. So do you remember all that fiasco about the season ticket prices going up? Do you remember that? Not so long back. And look, we've all been here, don't we? Because we love this club and it's a passion. Do you think, Dave, almost Jeff's turned it round now? I mean, they've announced the new kit, and I quite like the new kit, by the way. Looks great quality. They've changed it with the badge in the middle, etc. And also done our business early. Do you think there's some redemption there?
Well, look, they came out with a VAR thing, so we got a tick there, didn't
Absolutely.
they? But maybe that was to soften the blow of the season tickets. I think obviously it's been difficult for a lot of fans, and you saw the uproar and how everyone's united behind trying to get some movement and some concession. So it's great that the under-14s got dropped back. It's good that there's a guaranteed freeze on season tickets, but it's been difficult for a lot of fans, and obviously you know, we all know how difficult it's been, you know, for people to find the money, and there's obviously quite a lot of people that haven't been able to renew, so that's difficult.
Yeah.
On the positive side, they are painting the stadium now. We've seen that.
I forgot all about the bollards. I didn't even check. I'm gonna have a selfie with the bollard on the way.
Yeah, there's about 600 to 800,000 pounds being spent on that, so that's positive. Because at the end of the day, we're proud of our club. We want people to come up and not feel like it's a dump, you know, and things are falling apart. So that's positive. I think that's been listened to. I think the fact that we've had a good start to pre-season, that's really positive. You have to say that Hobbs has done a fantastic job since he took over from Sellers. Everything that he's done so far, the recruitment of the manager, Gary O'Neill. At the time, we're thinking, what's he doing? There's a lot of people where jury was out. Gary's obviously done really, really well. Difficult end to the season with so many people out. Like we're saying, proper pre-season, so we'll see what the real Gary O'Neill's made of with a proper pre-season and with some backing. I also think it's been positive that the kits come out, but they've dropped the prices. I know it's only £2 on the replica, but with inflation it's a bit more, and the pro kits come down. Obviously they've got the new brand that's come out, the Levy, Sudo, Fosun investment and stuff like that. So that was a good PR thing, but I still think, obviously, Jeff went out in the PR and was talking about aliens and bugs and things like that, and, you know, if you want to,
when the seagulls follow the
lost in translation. So he did lose a lot of it. When I was upset about that comment, because it's like, if you haven't got hope to win something, then what's the, you know, and our chairman saying that, how that was lost in the translation. So hopefully it's listening. I think he's lost a lot of faith with the supporters, but if they're listening and they start to win it back, but he's got a bit of a way to go to win things back. So you can only take it on what they do now and taking it forward. So the kit price is being reduced. The quality of the kit is very good. Yeah. To be fair, I think most people that have seen the kit, the quality is quite good on the replica and the pro. So that's positive, but there's obviously a lot more work that needs to be done to win the fans fully back, and let's hope they are doing.
Well, I've got a bit of surprise for you, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Shea. Now, you could look at it two ways with regards to the kit, in terms of, is it quite pioneering that Wolves have gone that way? You know, we've done something, obviously still with VAR, we've gone against the grain and we've done it. It might be something that other clubs start following suit with if it works, unless it falls apart at the seams, but it might be something. So, guys, has anyone got any questions for any of the panel apart from me? I'm joking. Anyone get any questions at all? Carl?
What do you think about the new tactical managers coming at Molineux?
Who's that to?
Anyone that's on...
Technically, yeah, who wants to go first?
The set piece.
Yeah, the set piece one, yeah.
Anybody want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I started off. I think it's a great move. I mean, was it from Man City?
Yeah, from Man City, yeah.
And first pre-season game we scored from a set piece. I'm absolutely all for it. 100%
There you go.
Yeah, it's bringing Wolves forward and everyone else. I think all the big clubs have got set piece coaches, so I just think it's a smart move. I mean, Gary O'Neill's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know, but to surround yourself with experts of all parts of the game, it's another step forward for me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what's got to take on that, but I think it's a great move.
And I think
it's wherever you can gain the edge, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I think to a degree, these things have already been done with in possession coaches, out of possession coaches. So you know, it's just obviously another cog in the wheel, and anything that can give us that advantage is obviously a positive. Do you want to add to that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about the attacking set pieces as well, it'd be how to defend set pieces as well, I would imagine. And I think before that, the last set piece coach was the goalkeeper coach, wasn't it? That was Roberts that was doing it. So, and you know, we saw a bit of that. So, like, I think it's a positive step, because at the end of the day, you know, you've got to get goals from wherever you can, and set pieces are a big opportunity to get the ball in the box and, you know, get a few goals. And if you can pick 5 to 10 goals a season from set pieces and you can keep some out, then that's a positive. We want to score more goals from outside the area, because last year we were the only club in the top 5 flights of Europe that didn't score a goal from outside the area, apart from in the FA Cup.
Don't take that one off Tommy Doyle.
Apart from in the FA Cup. That's a great goal, that was.
But I think the contrast to that was how often we was doing it with Ruben Neves, and then we've gone from a team that did have a crack from outside the box to a team that almost did. But you've seen it in the Euros, there wasn't that many goals from outside the box. That young lad, the Spanish lad, the 16, 17-year-old, he cracked one in, but not a lot of players are having the opportunity to shoot from distance now. Do you want to add on to any about the?
I mean, I grew up on Steve Frog and Dean Richards scoring off corners,
Yeah.
Simon Osborne whipping in free kicks. I'm all for set piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, just get some shots, guys. Let's get the shot target bets up on the weekend.
Absolutely. Guys, any more questions from anywhere in the room? Yes, sir.
To all the panel, who would be your captain out of the current
Oh, that's a
team?
good question. That is.
Oh, well, while you guys are thinking, oh, hang on. While you guys are thinking, I'll let Dave answer this.
You know, I think there's two obvious choices for me, and that's either Mario Lemina, who was shown off the field and on the field. We saw the stuff he did with a young lad off the field. He plays like a captain. He was on the pitch getting people together. And of course, Agent Kuna as well. Agent Kuna isn't the other one. The other option, obviously, is Dawson, but to me, it would either be Mario or Mateus.
I think you've got to have someone who's playing, obviously, regularly. You've got to have a starter, you know. Dawson, yes, he's got... Dawson's got massive leadership qualities, but is he going to, you know, feature for as many games as we'd like him to? So, out the two, Cunha and Lemina, I'd actually like to see Cunha. I think, you know, he's very inspiring. He seems very mature on the pitch. You see him speaking a lot, so I'd like to see Cunha. Dan?
I'll go with Cunha myself. I think obviously Lemina seems the standout candidate at the moment. I don't think Craig Dawson's the type of footballer or man that needs to be wearing the armband.
Yes,
I think we've got a problem if we need to have a captain. We need the leadership squad that's been mentioned regularly now. I think we need a full squad of leaders now. I think we're sort of on the way to that. And I think we're in a really good place. It's just let's get this season moving now.
Dave?
It wouldn't surprise me if Dawson's like the overall club captain as such, and then sort of on the pitch. I think that, again, the Cunha or Lemina shouts, but I think it'd be Lemina out of the two, just because he's got that little bit more experience.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see Cunha and Lemina as a captain, because they're both quite passionate and sometimes be erratic on the pitch as well. So it'd be interesting to see how if their act changes slightly. But wouldn't surprise me to see Dawson named as the main captain, but then Lemina have the armband more than
I think Cunha could be similar to Bruno Fernandes as a captain, where he sort of leads by example on his ability, but I think his emotions do get the better of him at some times. So it'd be interesting to see if that does end up being the case.
United fans love Bruno, but then it winds up opposition fans quite often. So
Stereotypically, it was always centre halves that were captains because they were sort of seeing the game. So that's what might put Lemina in maybe a bit of a bit more positive. Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss up. Cunha, I think he would make a great captain. Lemina, like you say, positionally and just that warrior he is in general.
Yeah.
But I think I'm with Dave. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did officially, like club captain, go to Dawson just because of the character and the experience he's got.
Did it a few years ago. I can't remember who it was. Or if Moores had done it previously. But there was a club where a player barely played, and he was one of the main captains. I don't know if it was City or something like that. So I think that would probably be the same.
Yeah, I think
Give him Howden's.
Ryan?
I'm in agreement with what Dan said. I would love to see Cunha as captain. I'd love to see Cunha as captain, but I just think he's probably a little bit too emotional.
Yeah.
And I think then if you're giving him more responsibility, you're going to take the edge off his game. And I like him on the edge.
Yes.
He'll just get yellow cards. He may get sent off, but him fired up, running with the football, and then he's got to calm that down. I don't want to take that edge on. Whereas I think Mario has equal madness, but he's in more control of it. So I think Mario experienced. He had a quiet spell with Southampton, Fulham in his career. He seems to have found his home again. I think he's perfect captain material for us. And I think Max had a lot of criticism because he wasn't particularly vocal or shouty or angry. Yeah. And you don't always lead by shouting, you lead by example. But with Mario, I think you're going to get a mouth and you're going to get application.
See, I don't know. I don't know if Max Kilman, perhaps. I know, obviously, he has got leadership qualities, of course he has, but I'm not sure whether when he signed that contract, he might have been given the captaincy as part of the deal. Now, if you think about it, that's gone massively in our favour because he signed a deal and made a fortune out of him. So that could be another argument. Cunha, the only thing against him is he's got a lot going on off the pitch. I mean, he owns that stadium up the road, doesn't he? So that's... Any more questions, guys, before we go to a break? Yes, sir.
I was going to say if, but I'll say when we come towards the top at the end of the season, could you see a for sale sign going on?
Josh, if you just pop out for 5 minutes.
I don't think that's ever an option at the moment. I think we're too big of brand within their portfolio as a group first, and I think it takes some stupid saving money to consider that.
I think realistically, but just to contrast Dan's point, and that's a great point by the way, I think every club in the Premier League for sale, if someone comes in with a stupid offer from wherever it's going to be, and it's money that not necessarily needed, but if it's a ridiculous amount of money that they might not get for years to come, then I think it could be an option. But I think it's I definitely think it's a long-term project for Fosun. Dave?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think like you said, any club is for sale for a certain price, but I think they want us to be at the top end of the table.
Absolutely.
Like you mentioned earlier, Dave, about some of the comments Jeff's made previously, but ultimately they want us to be at the top end of the table. Every owner in the Premier League should want their club to be at the top end of the table. So I don't necessarily. They might in the back of their mind think, let's put the price of the club up a little bit, but I think they'll be more than happy with us climbing the table.
Dave, anything nice and positive to say
Yeah,
about
no,
FG at this point?
quite nice and positive and stuff. You have to have balance. At the end of the day, look,
I'm sorry, Dave.
look where.
Joking, I'm sorry, Dave.
Look where we were when Fosun took us over. We were languishing in the Championship. I know they did come in and said we're going to win the Premier League in 10 years. We had realisation come, and you know what? I remember going to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we beat them 3-2. And we were literally that close from Champions League, and then a pandemic hit, and Tottenham got their players thing. We lost a lot of momentum. Nuno did a fantastic job. You have to remember that he was away from his family as well. That's going to affect someone mentally, And then obviously that's been difficult on Fosun's finances. They did spend a lot of money. You saw Jeff saying about Fabio Silva. 35 million, Guedes was brought in. They've got stung a few times and they've paid a lot of money. And, I think because they've got stung a little bit, they've reined it in. Obviously, last season was very divisive because of how Lopetegui left, and is it the board's fault, is it Lopetegui? We never really know exactly why. It's a bit in between. And obviously the FFP situation, we're not spending the money, but ultimately, if they hadn't done what they did last summer and we'd have ended up getting a points deduction, the fans would have been up in arms for saying, look, you didn't look after the club, the finances. They got us through that. They believed in the squad. We had Gary O'Neill come in, and if we hadn't have had injuries like what we've said, we probably would have been really close to European football. So they've changed the structure. Matt Hobbs has come in. He has a lot more control over what's doing. I like what he's doing. We've got a little bit more clear blue water this year in terms of the fact, we've got to sell, but people sometimes say Wolves are a selling club. Every team is a selling club if the price is right. Every team is a trading club. You trade your players and you trade your way up. We've seen Brighton do that. Wolves are in that position, and there are a lot of teams this year that are in Wolves' position, Villa being one and a couple of others. Newcastle have got so much money, but they can't just spend the money. So I actually do think that we're going in the right direction, and I am quite excited for the season. It'll be interesting to see if Gary gets this new contract as well, Gary out there.
This is the last question, by the way, guys, so I'm going to go to these two and then we're going for a quick break and then we are going to do the draw of the Kinder Balls. So, Ryan, what do you think? Is it in Fosun we trust?
Well, in the Fosun tenure, they've given most people in this room the most successful era. FA Cup semi-finals, European football, things I never thought I would dream seeing a Wolves fan.
Absolutely.
And I am very grateful for that. However, as grateful as I am, you are allowed to ask questions and demand a bit more. I'm not expecting millions and millions. Listen, Fosun are really Wolves at a loss. It might be a glamour project, it's great to have on the portfolio, and we are a great big advertising board for Fosun and some of their brands, but they're making a loss. A year or two ago, they wrote £120 million worth of debt off, so that won't continue forever. But what is pleasing is the direction of travel we've taken now, with Gary O'Neill doing the recruitment early. So, of course, Jeff and his advisors are learning as well. So, in Fosun we trust, much more than I did probably 6-7 weeks ago.
That's the thing, you see a lot of people Fosun out, and you know what, people are entitled to their opinion, but if you're going to come up with a comment like Fosun out, you've got to be realistic. There are even queues and queues and queues of billionaires waiting to buy Premier League football clubs running at potentially a loss.
It's about learning from your mistakes and doing better. Now, again, Jeff Shee's a business expert. I'm not. So
Yeah.
there'll be things going on in the background I won't understand.
Absolutely.
But from mistakes of our own, we had to put a lot of money back in. We did that. We got on the right side of the line, and we're starting again now. So yeah, 4 back in.
Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so starting on the negative, I think Jeff Shee's dropped the howler with, you know, the season tickets and stuff like that, but just the little thing like the bollards that you mentioned being painted, little things like that, little signs of hope. And we've overheard Matt Hobbs saying that, you know, it might be a push for Europe this season. That's the sort of, might not be the black and white aim, but hopefully we'll get there again. And we do owe, like Ryan said, you know, we owe a lot to Fosun that, you know, what they've given us over the last few years. You know, I never thought I'd be able to stand in the South Bank and watch Wolves play European football. But I did. But I don't think that should be sort of held on like, as a chokehold to fans. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
we've given you
Yeah.
this, so now your tickets are going. So I'm
Yeah.
that I think as long as we're seeing like, the return, then you know I think that's something that you can sort of justify it a bit. And fans aren't going to be bothered if we start creeping up the table. Or you know, football clubs are businesses. You've got a business. You don't want it to be, you know, rock bottom. You want it to be up there, whether you're interested in selling or
Depends when the VAT return's due, Robbie.
You
Well,
said that, mate.
I'm joking. In the infamous words of Jeff Shea, if you want success, maybe Wolves isn't the club for you. I jest, by the way, I'm joking. What comes out first, the team or the position?
So we're going to go with, first of all, we're going to draw the team, and then you're going to draw the position. So if we go with the first one,
Here we go.
with Kieran, World Cup style,
WCR FM.
WCRFM, and Jason, this will be A 1 to 5 or B 1 to 5.
I've got why did the chicken cross the road? Is this out of a cracker day? B3.
B3, if everyone, there we go.
B3, WCRFM.
So there we go, they're on the board in Group B. So next up, Kieran,
The Wolves report.
the Wolves report, Ryan, Leicester's team.
Is B1.
B1.
We are
so
top of the league.
bear in mind,
B1.
the first games will be 1 versus 2.
I thought you
and
was going to
3
say on the
versus
weekend
4.
of the 5th and 6th of January.
So 1 will play 2, 3 will play 4, and then 5 will be, they'll play 1, obviously because the first round of matches there's 5 in the group, so 5 will play 1.
And if any of you understood that, can you explain to me, please?
Always Wolves.
So that's us.
Right, give me a really shit one now. Come on, A5, come on. A1.
A1, that'll be the
A1.
first match on the way it'll be. There'll be 2 groups running simultaneously. So the left side will be A, right side will be B.
Old gold pack.
Complete with all the flags. I said flags. B4.
B4.
Group B's populating nicely.
So that your first match will be against WCRFM.
I mean,
Just dropped through each year.
Talking Wolves.
Ooh.
Talking Wolves. Dave has a party.
straight into B2, Dave. Let's have it.
B5. Flipping.
B5.
B5.
So Talking Wolves' first match will be against the Wolves Report's second game.
Great, we'll be absolutely blowing by then.
Fresh legs, yeah.
Done.
Oh, you nice. Come here, fine.
Wolves Media.
Nice.
Wolves Media.
Can't be another B, surely.
We've got probably one game in us.
A3.
A3.
Ah, true.
We don't play.
Yeah.
Is that right, Jeff? You alright with that? Or do you want us to do it again? No, Jeff's fine.
Wolves 77 Club.
77 Club, that's Harry's team.
How much are the tickets to come and watch, Dave?
I think it's a £5.
Jeff says, can you do it for about 7?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff, if you're watching. A5!
A5, so that'll be their
That's
first
the stuff
game.
you can never
but
get in your
our second
photocopier.
game.
A5. 3 to go.
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack. And Group B is complete. B2.
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 So Wolfpack's first game will be against Ryan's Wolves Report.
Get to the gym quick.
So we've got 2 spots on Group A now.
Wolves Fancast.
Fancast.
Dave, there's another B. A2.
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 Opening game of the tournament on Group A.
And last but not least, Wolves Foundation.
And the photocopier's favourite, A4.
So Wolves Media Team's first game will be against Wolves Foundation.
Proper derby, that, isn't it?
And that concludes the draw for the first round FA Cup proper.
And obviously will be taking place at Compton, the training ground inside the Dome, on September the 7th. It is in the international break, so there's nothing, there's no sort of Wolves games or anything like that. Michael, if you could scroll up and just show the running order on the screen there for everyone to see. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. I think there is a link on the day this year as well. What we will be doing is this should be a shortcut that Michael will be there, and as the results come in, you'll be able to have it on your phone to actually see the tables update as we go through the group stages. And then obviously when we get to the top 4, we'll go through to the quarterfinals. Team 1 of Group A will play 4th place of Group B, vice versa, and then 2nd and 3rd places of Group A and Group B will play each other in the quarterfinals, and then so forth to the semi-final and then the final. At the end of the day, it is all played in a friendly atmosphere. There's going to be no slide tackles or anything like that. We don't want anyone getting injured.
No ringers, guys.
Or anything like that.
I'm still paying the price 12 months on. Don't bring your mates in, guys.
And I hope that you guys will continue to promote this, obviously, as we get closer to the competition and to the event. We want to raise a load of money for the foundation. We want as many people to come down on the day to support and watch. So hopefully you can encourage people to, your friends and family to come on the day, and hopefully it'll be a really good day. And what are we on at the moment?
I think we're on 380, aren't we, on the so far raise, which is incredible, guys. So give yourselves a big round of applause as well. That is fantastic. £380 worth of money, and it can make a massive difference, can't it, Kieran?
Absolutely. Back to the top of this evening, unrestricted funding is super important for Wolves Foundation. It enables us to be reactive to the needs of the community that we all live amongst, thrive amongst, and in reality, without community, Molineux, Wolves wouldn't exist, right? So football was something that was born out of community, so it's our responsibility to try and look after that community, so fundraising is a really big part of that. So thanks for all being here tonight, thanks for your contributions so far, and I'm looking forward to beating the media team, obviously, but no, I really appreciate everyone's efforts. Dave, Jason, thank you so much for
I appreciate it. And I just want to thank everyone for coming. Jason for emceeing it, and if you want to just close the evening.
Yeah, I just want to thank the sponsors, AstroPay and Castori. I think they've been brilliant. So, guys, now, thank you all for coming. It's going to be a great tournament. I didn't mention this, but I played in it last time, and it was a really good tournament. Forget all the banter. Great tournament, great cause. So everybody that's come out tonight's making a massive difference, so thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. Awesome.